The one and only, the indomitable Dr. Peter McCullough from the Wellness Company. Doctor, we made it through Thanksgiving, so Christmas holiday season is officially on us, which means the start of the flu, COVID-19, and RSV. We know that one of our best defenses to getting sick is our immune system. So tell us what you want to tell us about what you have to protect us.
Well, it looks like the influenza vaccine is going to be very ineffective this year. This H3N2 strain almost certainly not going to respond to the current recipe for the influenza vaccine, despite half of Americans taking them. I'm not recommending them for my patients, but I do recommend from the Wellness Company Immune Defense, nasal spray and throat spray twice a day. Great product, great name, and it does protect against common cold, RSV, COVID-19, influenza. And then our line of immune boosting supplements, including natural immunity.
And especially if you're going on planes or getting on any kind of mass transit or going to gather with families in closed places, it's really important. Also shopping malls, I happen to think, and gyms. My husband picked up a cold in a gym this week. I'm like, I told you, just work out at home. But there are reports, but you could just use the spray, right? And then you wouldn't have to worry. There are reports, and I was reading about this over the weekend, these 10 children that they can count. This is, of course, the VAERS site, which is the government's own site, which means a doctor has to voluntarily report that. But so if they're reporting 10 cases, and the reports even mentioned that if they were reporting these 10 cases, it likely means there are many more, but they died because of the COVID vaccine. When there is debate, even in this internal memo, as to whether or not the COVID vaccine prevented any COVID for young children, especially young boys who are at risk. You knew this. I knew this. I was reporting it like crazy, getting my media shadow banned and everything else. I'm sure it was even worse for you. But now they admit it.
It's a mixed review on the new FDA staffers, Macri and Prasad. A leaked memo said, 10 out of 96 cases that they reviewed. But in the U.S. CDC VAERS system, there's 19,480 deaths. And, several thousand occur within 48 hours of the shot. Peer-reviewed studies, one by Gill and colleagues in 2021, reported 2 autopsy-confirmed fatal COVID-19 vaccine myocarditis cases. So the FDA has not shown up to the U.S. Senate hearings. I was testified as a lead witness on May 21st, 2025, and we concluded the government covered up these vaccine deaths due to myocarditis, and the FDA officials weren't there. So we encourage them to take the proper steps, remove the COVID-19 vaccines from the market, and let's have an independent safety review on what happened.
But what do you say to parents, Dr. McCullough, whose kids are getting ready to play football this year, and they're still required to get vaccine number 7, vaccine number 8? I mean, this is ridiculous. It's still going on. It's not like this just happened then. There are still parents out there being told, if your kid wants to go to our college, if your kid wants to play on our team, you have to get this shot.
Yeah, it could be their last shot ever. It could take their life. The COVID-19 vaccines are fatal in some children, and just because they've tolerated the first few shots doesn't mean the next one may not be a lethal dose of the COVID-19 vaccine. They should be declined across the board.
Yeah, and it seems almost like it's more dangerous. At least I know my dad died from one of the later shots. He'd gotten many and done fine, and then he just dropped dead from one of the later ones. Finally, Doctor, I know we haven't spoken about the bird flu in a little while, but terrifying, horrible what happened, the culling of the birds over in Canada. I know that a lot of you at the Wellness Company took a strong stand on this. I still can't believe they went through with killing, I believe it was 350 some ostriches, when ostriches were in fact showing resistance to the bird flu, and they were wanting to use them to say, hey, what is it about these ostriches that they didn't get it, and can we use that for other bird populations to protect them and humans? Tell us about not just that, but what we can have on hand to help to prevent this now that they have culled the entire flock that showed some promise in future research.
Well, that happened in Canada. In the United States, the Wellness Company essentially ended the bird flu crisis by distributing bird flu kits to all the farmers. So the farmers had proper nasal sprays, throat sprays, have the drugs to treat human bird flu, and that would be oseltamivir and secondary antibiotics. So we essentially ended the crisis when the government agencies did nothing. The biosecurity measures of killing the flocks of chickens and in this case ostriches has been futile. It's simply destroyed good livestock and prized animals. And to make matters worse, it's just propagated the problem. The animals are developing natural immunity. We should allow them to develop natural immunity. There's no human-to-human spread. We've got this covered.
That's so cool. Thank God for the Wellness Company. I say it all the time. Remember, the Wellness Company's Cyber Monday sale is live for 48 hours only, right, Doctor? It's a once-in-a-year chance, right, to outsmart Big Pharma and stock up on doctor-formulated wellness at great prices. Dr. McCullough, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
All right. Save up to 25% site-wide, including 20% off all emergency kits and membership. It's the perfect time. At least get that throat and nasal spray that'll prevent you from having to be dragged down with the flu. I'm embarrassed that I didn't have enough in time from last year's remnant of it to give it to my husband, so he got a cold. But this is the perfect time to prevent holiday colds and flus, giving health to the people you care for the most. The sale ends Tuesday night, December 2nd, so get it now. Coming up, does anyone remember laughing? Do you remember laughing? Well, we do. But does woke Hollywood remember laughing? I don't think they remember it, you guys. In moments, we'll find out why. We'll be right back. The fun starts again in just 2 minutes.